Today is my favourite little person's second birthday.
Should we watch the tiger came to tea?
So we had an awesome weekend for Bobby's second birthday. As you saw from that montage, we had a lot of fun and we had some soft play come and all that kind of stuff. Obviously it was all disinfected and what have you, which was a lot of fun. Probably the most happy I've ever seen her. She's happy every day, but I felt like we did a good job, which makes me feel good. Another month of lockdown gone. Got a bit of a beard going on, which I'm quite liking. I actually did cut my own hair. And it's about a couple of weeks old now. Did my own fade and everything, and Rose just neatened off the back. Felt like that was a pretty damn good job. Not that anyone's ever going to see it. And I think the same as what we say on the regs now. I think we're all just a little bit over it, ready to get out and start seeing people again and kind of rebuild and rekindle our friendships, which feel like they're dwindling to me. Like, I haven't seen Zach for some time. For me, what's kept me going a lot through the lockdown is being productive. I'm feeling like I'm being productive with my training or through work. One thing that I got recently, actually, I want to show you is a Zello. This is like a planner, like a diary-esque thing. I just got it off Amazon. It was like 20 odd quid. And every morning I write the list or the night before of what I've got to do the next day, and I tick it off as I go through the day because it makes me feel fulfilled and like I'm doing things that I should be doing. Otherwise I will procrastinate watching videos of Warzone and other stupid shit on YouTube or Instagram. You know, like you look at your phone for a second to check an email, you're like half an hour in the bin, you're like, how does that even happen? So try and knock that on the head. Anyway, what's cool about this is it's a 6-month planner. At the start you do like your goal for the next 6 months, and you break it down into day to day, and at the end of the week it's like, what did you feel you did well this week, what do you feel like you could improve on, and it just each week by week you just refine on things. It comes with this little thing here which looks very simple, and it is, but basically you put it on there, and if you have, like, for me, one thing I'm doing every day is I'm finding half an hour to learn, and I'm making sure I find time to play with Bobby as well. So each day throughout the week you do a little circle, you can tick through it to show that you've done it, and then review it at the end of the week. Just a nice little thing that I've enjoyed doing. Training wise, it's been pretty good. However, I'm feeling a little run down today. Like, I can just feel the niggles of, John, if you really push it, you're going to end up being run down, having a cold or something. So today, if I train at all, it's going to be bodybuilding. It'll be nothing on the respiratory system, just because as the years have gone by, I got very good at listening to my body. Years ago, ego would have taken over and I would have just gone as normal. But today is a day for taking it easy, in the words of the Eagles. Just really showing my age there. So far this morning, I've been doing a lot of programming, doing some bits for our TLM training, which has been amazing through January. Got a good amount of people on it now, which is awesome. Want to keep building that community, so making sure I was keeping in touch with people this morning. Next up, I have a client call at 10. It is now 9:51, so I'm going to drop a coffee or a tea. Might go for a rooibos tea, like Red Bush tea. I'm a big fan of that stuff. And then I'll do this on this call with one of my clients, and I'll be back. We're going to talk diet today because last week I started my first diet in many a year, and I gained half a kilo, but I'll explain why that happened anyway. But first up, I have a client call in 9 minutes, so I'm going to have a quick cup of rooibos tea. I'm a huge fan of Red Bush rooibos tea. I think it's South African. Love it. I'm going to have one of those bad boys. I'm going to do this client call, and I'll be back to you guys, and we shall talk diet and tracking on MyFitnessPal. So as I was saying earlier, first diet in a very long time is starting today because I've obviously been on that strength cycle, gaining leg strength for squats, which really worked, but I am probably the heaviest. I'm about 85 kilos, which is the heaviest I've ever been. I don't really care about the weight, that's not the problem. The real problem was, I went to my nan's funeral the other week and none of my suits fitted, including my wedding suit. which I don't mind them being tight around the legs. I will take that all day. When you can't even get the buttons even in the same realm as to be able to do them up, you have issues. So diet has started. I'm just finding out how many calories I'm roughly eating a day at the moment, having a rough target, and as I start to figure that out, then I can start to refine things. Same as what I would do with any client. First thing is a food recall diet to find out where we're at. I'm just currently trying to add in a protein shake. Now, where are you? Here. So one thing that I'm wary of is, obviously with less food coming in, protein might be a little bit less. I don't eat as much meat as I used to, still eat it, it's not as much. So I'm gonna have a protein shake once a day, maybe twice sometimes. And the idea by that is that I want to just try and maximally stimulate muscle protein synthesis. There's roughly 3 grams of leucine in a protein shake, which is pretty much how much you need to make that happen. And that's the process of basically laying down and building new muscle tissue. So roughly every meal you want to have probably 30 grams of protein, something like that. And as I'm having less meals, I can rely on a shake, which is a lot less calories, just to fill in the blanks. This is chocolate.
Oh yeah. Oh Papa.
It's you, baby, yeah.
Oh wow.
So I'm about like one bicep curl away from having a cold. I'm in this this group chat with a bunch of my friends who have similar kind of setups to me, and just keeping each other accountable, putting workout ideas and stuff in there. Everyone's putting in their 3K ski time today. And I'm like, honestly, if I do a bicep curl, I'm gonna have a cold. So I thought what I'd do, listen to my body, come in here and do a good stretch. Now what I've just done is I've just re-downloaded the GoWOD app. This obviously isn't sponsored or anything like that. Basically, you can do a test your mobility score. Basically, it takes you through a range of motions. You do it there, you mark down your score, and it basically tells you how mobile you are, where you need to work on. So last time, my mobility score was 79%, and my weakest was overhead. I was about 50% on overhead. Right, I haven't done any mobility stuff since before Bobby was born. For 2 years, I've not had an active stretching routine or anything. I've just kind of maintained what I've had. I had 79%, 100% ankles, 100% hips, 83% shoulders, 50% overhead, 75% posterior chain. I'm going to screenshot that, and we're going to see what happens after 2 years of doing no stretching. Alright, I'm going to turn the heaters on, put some music on, so I'll time lapse this bad boy. I'll come back to you guys in a bit. Okay, first test in about 2 years. Went from 78% to 88%. Shoulders haven't changed. Overhead plus 17%. Hips are max. Posterior chain plus 25%. Ankles max. And considering my muscles probably, well, normally when you gain strength and size in muscles, it's common for the muscles to shorten and get tighter, doing lots of squats and that kind of stuff, and actually increase. But I have been doing a lot of loaded, well, I haven't done any mobility, that's a lie. I just do my warm-up loaded stretches on the hamstring, so winning, not gonna argue with that. That's GoWOD if you ever wanna try that. So then you can click daily and it will set your stretching around your parameters and your weaknesses. So if you struggle for overhead, you're gonna get a lot more overhead stretching. I'm now gonna do my daily, which is based on me, so it's gonna be a bit more overhead, I think. Let's go. Just dipped my hoodie string in my coffee. It's the next morning, I'm back to coffee club. Yesterday, I said, like my big focus at the moment is obviously dieting. Yesterday I said my weight went up. And I want to give you some of the reasons why weight goes up unexpectedly. First thing to understand, and we said this a lot of times, is fat loss. If your goal is to lose fat, it's not linear. You don't just lose a pound every week, it goes up and down, lots of things happen. Things to avoid doing. For example, I weighed myself last night, I weighed myself this morning. There's about 2 kilo variance from morning to evening. Obviously there's more food in you, there's more in your digestive system, probably more poo in you, depends what it is and what your time and your transit times are and when you go to the toilet. But if you're going to weigh, I would weigh yourself in the morning after going to the loo and before having breakfast, and probably once a week, or less than that. If you're someone who wants to do it every day, that's fine, but some people don't have the best relationship with looking at the scales all the time, because they read a little more into it than what it's actually showing. Remember, the scales is just a relationship between you and gravity. It's not your body fat, it's not your worth, it's none of that. It's your water, it's your bones, it's your blood, it's how much glycogen. And that's another thing. If you're someone who doesn't eat that many carbs and you have a takeaway or something that has a lot of carbs or sodium in it, you're going to store a lot of water, and that's going to add a lot of weight. Someone who's carb depleted, so they haven't been eating carbohydrates and they've been doing exercise for a few days, they're going to weigh very different, especially if you then gave them a carb refeed where they refilled their stores. They're going to weigh a lot of weight different, and it has 0% to do with fat. So sometimes it's a case of not getting wobbled by the scales and just go, okay, what could that potentially be? And mine went up the other week because it was Bobby's birthday. We had an Indian. Now I had chicken shashlik, which is none of the sauces or anything like that. It's one of the ones that I quite like, but still there's going to be a lot more salt in that, so it's going to make differences. But there's some simple things to look out for if you're on a fat loss journey. The scales in the long term, we want to see them going down, but if they don't go down from week to week, day to day, it's not always the end of the world. Sometimes we just need to take a step back and look at what maybe made that happen. So there's lots of things to play here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Wasn't really any working out in this one, just kind of general day-to-day stuff. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a massive thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't, and see you in the next one. Bye, guys.